Oh, there you go. That works. Alrighty, here we go. Good morning, everybody, from the boardwalk. I'm going in the opposite direction that I normally go, but we'll fix that as we come back around. Welcome to the Saturday morning runs. I haven't done this in months, I think. We've been crazy busy, but it is a absolutely beautiful morning. If I turn back, just look at that sunrise over there. It is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, I gotta start my watch. Just something I always forget to do. There we go. Been so long since I've done some of these things. All right. So this morning we are over at the boardwalk. We're going to get our little Saturday 10K in, running the normal route. I think they're still doing some construction over here at Swan and Dolphin, so that might impede some of the route. Yeah, I see it over there. And if you guys do drop the comments, I may or may not read them all and miss them, but I'll do my best. So it's been a while. Violet, almost 50. 10K, nice. Yeah, so I mean, if this is your kind of like your first time joining the live streams, usually for a while there, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays, I was trying to get a 10K in over here at Disney because it was beautiful and wonderful. And summertime is just so hot and miserable, especially in the mornings, to try and get a run in. Haven't done one, and also we've just been crazy busy doing all kinds of stuff. It's a beautiful, calm morning. Hollywood Studios today opens up at 8 o'clock for early entry, which means that this pathway is probably going to get very, very busy here in the next, I don't know, half hour or so. Miss Slipper, I missed these. Glad to see you back. And at one of my favorite locations. Thank you. It's good to be back. I'll be honest, I haven't done a lot of running, so today will be probably a little bit of a challenge for me. I was, for a while there, probably back in, I think, April or May, hitting the gym pretty hard into June. And as we began to kind of get closer to our, Alaskan cruise and travel, I stopped going because I didn't want to get COVID. And then, not be able to get on the ship. So, been avoiding some of those locations. But Warrior Mom, I'm not a runner, but man, I love seeing Walt Disney World property. Looks like something, sorry. Couldn't see the whole comment there, but I love the resorts first thing in the morning, even in the evenings. As we get closer to sunset, Boardwalk is just unbelievably beautiful. And they've been really doing a lot to try and, upgrade, restore a lot of the facades, make them look a little bit nicer. Not that they didn't look nice, but face paint, things like that. So And as always, for whatever reason, there's like this weird drop up here for me in service. So if it does start to lag, just kind of refresh. And hopefully we don't have that problem, but might happen. So, do we have any other Run Disney runners in the chat today? As always, you guys know, or you might not know if this is your first time, but Dreamy Tree, good morning, Josh. I'm looking forward to Dopey, and that's just what I was going to bring up. Is you know, for me, I'm always trying to do marathon weekend. This year is no exception with the awesome theme that they've got, going back to like the 80s and 90s kind of vibe and look. And I'll be doing Dopey. So it'll be a lot of fun. Pretty exciting with that. And yeah. Derek, Dopey 2023. Courtney, yes, this November. 5K and half, can't wait, that's awesome. So I was offered to do all the races this year, kind of like I did last year. You know, food and wine, all the way up to Springtime Surprise. But it was just too much. Not too much running, but it was too much scheduling and trying to make things work. I actually I had to miss the 10K during Princess Weekend because we ended up booking a wedding over at the Grand Floridian. So, you know, that kind of takes priority over the 10K. So I missed the 10K, which wasn't a huge deal, but a little bit disappointing. So just doing marathon weekend this year. And like I said, I'm pretty excited because the theme is super cool. And this really might be the first year that I stopped to meet probably like the Fat Five if they had special outfits. But we'll see. Let's see, we'll be running in November in Disney, first time running at the parks, and so excited. That's awesome. And it's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun. Oh, it's been a while since I've had to carry this gimbal around. I need to start training with the other one, the bigger one. That's the one I gotta get used to. All right, so if you don't know property at all, we are at Hollywood Studios. See the Skyliner here. As we make our approach, we're actually gonna swing to the left and run down towards the buses. I always like to try and add in as much as I can because I feel like it's less, you know, kind of running in a circle. So, man, but look at that, just beautiful today. Oh boy. Feeling it already. That's what happens when you don't run for so long. Take a little walk here. There are gorgeous skies with the orange clouds, absolutely. Dominic, good morning. Warrior Mom. Oh, looks like a beautiful morning. Yeah. So exciting. And as you can see, people are already showing up here for Hollywood Studios because, again, it is early park entry this morning for hotel guests, which means that they get to get in earlier than everybody else. So this morning it's at 8 o'clock. So the pathway over here is probably going to get very busy very quickly. Nick, do they let you park without question this early to run? No, they do not. So you need to either have like a breakfast reservation, which isn't a bad idea, right? Have a breakfast reservation, come in, take a run, and then go eat if you want to. Or, you have to know somebody who's staying on property. So our friend Alan was just on the Disney Wish with us. We just got off the Disney Wish, if you guys don't know, yesterday. And Alan is staying at the Boardwalk for a couple of days. So I asked him if it'd be fine for me to kind of say, I'm here to visit Alan so I can go running. And he said that's fine. And he will probably be watching as we run by from his balcony. So we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, normally, if you aren't staying on property, you want to come over here and run, your best bet is to pay to park over at Swan and Dolphin. It's going to cost you $20. But that's usually your best bet because nobody's going to question you. You can just park there as early as you want. You can park whenever you want. If you want to come over and do a sunset run, don't recommend it because it might be raining or storming, but you can just park over there. You just have to pay $20. So otherwise, if you do a dining reservation and if you don't show up, then they're going to charge you anyways. So, really up to you. But normally, you got to have a dining reservation or be visiting somebody at the resort. So and it's starting to heat up relatively quickly. This morning, it kind of felt like that humidity was kind of like at this tipping point of like, do we want to get really hot and humid, or is it going to be kind of mellow? I feel like we're going to start feeling that humidity here real soon. Nick, newly local and trying to learn some tips. Yeah. So that's my recommendation. Just park at Swan and Dolphin probably. Or eat breakfast. You know, we're gonna go for a little exploration here. Something that I have never done while on this run. I always see people doing this, so you know, monkey see, monkey do, right? We're gonna mix it up this morning. Look at that, man, beautiful sky. Skyliner running. I don't know how much this is actually going to add or take away from the run, but I've never gone up this way before. We're going to cross this bridge, and we're going to head back down into Swan and Dolphin from this other approach. Yeah, so I've never taken this. I always see people kind of running this route from on the other side of the water. Gives you a little different vantage point here of Boardwalk, which is kind of nice. Some Disney ducks out there. This is a cool little pathway. So over to the left is our parking area for the Swan. You can see Tower Terror out there in the distance. Again, I'm not really familiar with this whole area. So we're just gonna try and make it work. Morning. So I believe this is where the buses are at. I just saw them come by over here. A lot of big cracks in the sidewalk over here. So if you do run this, just be careful. All right, do a little walk here. Circus Bear, good morning. All right, y'all, burning questions of Disney and other things. Need a little distraction here to help get me through my first run here in a long time. Cruise line, parks, you name it. Well, I should say you ask it, I'll try to answer it. Oh, long line over there for the boat. So normally, doesn't necessarily look like the pathway is closed, but normally I would run out and follow this pathway around and back up. But I mean, as of this moment, it looks like it's open. Yeah, we'll go do it. Let's just see. That's fun. Great question. So what cruise out of the 5 that we've done so far this year was my favorite? Hands down was Alaska. Just gorgeous landscape. We got so lucky with the weather. You know, our last kind of port day, which was a combination of Juneau and going up to see the glacier, was just absolutely fantastic. So, all right, that stinks. So, do not enter. Unfortunately. So I ran over here for nothing. You can actually see that this lift is actually parked on the sidewalk, which is kind of unfortunate. So I have to go back this way. Captain George 22, did we vlog our most recent cruise? So yeah, so we've still been vlogging. I know it doesn't seem like that. I've been super busy with other projects and Taylor's working, so you know, we haven't been in the parks that much. And as far as like getting the vlogs up, it's been a little challenging. And I think a really good kind of, not a test, but like just a way for you to kind of understand the direction that all of our videos are going to be moving to, is for you to go and watch our, what was it, like our first day in Seattle. A lot of voiceover work and really trying to tell a dynamic kind of story. They're not always going to be that way, but for the most part, that's the direction we're moving into. For me, I really enjoy that style of editing. And with that being said, it just takes longer to put those kind of videos together. So they're going to be coming out a lot slower, but hopefully, now that I've got some time that I can actually sit down and work on that edit, like that technique, you know, it's kind of, the best way for me to describe it is that, like, it's kind of It's kind of like learning to do something for the first time. You know, obviously I've been editing videos for like the last, 6 years. But when you have a style of editing, you get used to that style of editing, you get very quick at it, right? And I think like the traditional Disney vlog style of editing, which is really just kind of jump cut from, from whatever's happening to the next thing. It's very easy to edit. A lot of those videos, Taylor and I can edit in probably like 25 minutes, if that. And for me, it's just not as fun, and it's just not as, enjoyable. So the new style that I've kind of moved to is that, hiking in Mount Rainier, and Taylor's walking around downtown Seattle with our friends. So that kind of voiceover work, that's where we're moving. Takes a little bit longer, but they're all coming. We've got a bunch of Alaska videos, Disneyland, California. We've got the Disney Wish that we just got off of yesterday. We'll have videos coming out from that. So there's a lot in the works. I'm gonna get a Mickey's Not So Scary posted tonight, and then next Friday, or this Friday coming up, is HHN. My goodness, I'm so happy, super excited. It's gonna be great, and definitely lots of stuff coming from that this year. So but yeah, we've been busy with other professional projects, so things that don't really revolve around Disney, for clients, things like that they end up taking precedent over the vlogs. So but yeah, let's see here, did I miss anything else? Keith, after not running for a few months, what is your biggest hurdle right now? Breathing, camping, fatigue. That's a fantastic question. So it's a combination. So for me, compared to other people who might just be going out and running for the first time in a few months, right? My biggest challenge is having a conversation with everybody in the chat. So I have to work a little bit harder to breathe and speak and continue to run. So breathing, absolutely pretty tough. Cramping and fatigue. Cramping, not so much. Fatigue, absolutely. And I think it's also what plays into kind of getting back into running is knowing, kind of your own boundaries and how you operate, right? So my legs are feeling sore, but I know that they can keep going. They can push and push. So, it's kind of like everybody talks about getting that runner's high or kind of that second wind. Whether it be lactic acid or your legs just aren't warmed up. For me, it's always like that first 2 miles in the morning is pretty hard. My legs aren't warmed up because I pretty much just got up out of bed. I try to do a little bit of stretching, but there's only so much you can do. So with that being said, that tends to be one of the more difficult tasks. But hardest thing is probably breathing, by far. And I'm sure you guys can hear it. It's very, my breathing's very heavy, but that's because I haven't done this in, you guys would know better than me, March, April, when was springtime surprise. So it's been a while. Now, what I will say is what helps is having the distraction of you guys. Not that you're a distraction, but being able to converse and talk about things really helps to, take the mind away from labor breathing, soreness in the legs, even in the feet. So it's tough, but it's just like anything else. If if you haven't done it in a while, you're used to always running 10K maybe, not feeling so tired, like it'll come back. You just got to keep doing it over and over and over again, and then you'll be fine. So, and like I always say, power through the slopes. It'll make you a much stronger runner. You can power through and then walk afterwards. And if I stop talking, it's because I do have to focus on breathing. Just a little bit. Whew. All right. Take a little breather here. Surfer Girl, hello Josh, always love these runs, thanks. Miss Flipper, been hearing that the Wish layout is not the best. What are your thoughts? So here's the thing. It's really, really difficult to get on a brand new ship that, let me back up. Let's stop and zoom out and look at like Royal and Carnival, even Norwegian, right? These kind of average person mass appeal cruises, right? And all of those other cruise lines, each ship category, right, has like a different layout, right? So if you're on like Royal Caribbean and you're on Ovation and the Ovation class, the Odyssey class, whichever one it is, you can't expect to go from that ship and get on the Wonder of the Seas or Oasis or Harmony and expect the layout to be similar. Oh boy, this is very slippery because it's wet. You really have to kind of go into that with an open mind that you're on obviously a brand new, completely different ship. And I think the hardest thing, for a lot of people, because the Wish, by all measurements of whatever you want to measure across the ship, comparing that to the Fantasy and the Dream, as far as size goes, there's not a big difference. The ship is not that much bigger. Obviously, it holds more people. And I don't have these numbers in front of me, but I would think that they have redesigned the ship so that they can have even more staterooms on board. And for me personally, when I got on the ship actually felt smaller on the inside than it did on the Fantasy. Now, I have heard that there's a lot of people who are like the classic Disney cruisers who started out on the Magic and went to the Wonder, and they love that style of ship. It's very, very small, especially on the inside. And so I'm not sure if they were trying to mimic that on a larger ship. But, do I think that the layout's a little wacky? Yes. I think everybody's going to think that because everybody, for the most part, has been cruising on the Fantasy or the Dream for the last 10 years. So you've gotten very used to this layout. And you get on the Wish and it's drastically different in a lot of ways. So does it make it a negative? I don't think so. I think it takes people some getting used to. I will say that some of it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense as far as how the layout goes. But you know, here's the thing, is that they're not going to put it in dry dock and say, okay, we're going to redesign it and fix it, right? Like, that ship is the way that it is. The only thing that might change is, you know, if they continue to build the next 2 ships, maybe those layouts will be different. I don't think that they personally will be, but, you know, you just never know. So, Circus Bar, can't wait to see you both, and everyone have a great day. Stay safe. Stay safe out there, Ken. Have a good day. Danielle, good morning. Wish I could train on Disney property from Toronto. It's quite a run from here, yeah, for sure. You know, it is kind of nice to be out here. The only thing is that it's just super humid. Obviously, the weather's nice. What's really great is, as we approach marathon weekend, you know, for all of you up north, it's a little challenging to get out and run during those winter months. Here, it's like the best weather all year round. But, you know, you got to think, especially if you're running dopey and you're training, most of your training has to be done midsummer into the fall and leading up to the race. So it's really, really challenging. You know, it's kind of like that. People up north, you can't run in the wintertime, and everybody down here in the south, it's really difficult to run in the summer months, because no matter what you know, if you run it at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, even before the sun's up, some days it's 80 degrees and 100% humidity. So it's challenging. All right. So we're going to make our way out the pathway here. Where are we sitting at? Not even at 3 miles. Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's my friend Alan up there, watching from the balcony. I think he may have had a coffee earlier. Oh, he is drinking his coffee. That's all. That son of a gun. Relaxing from the balcony, having a cup of coffee. On your left. You know, it's, I always say, hang out on your couch and enjoy a cup of coffee while you watch me run around the parks, or the resorts, I guess, at this moment. But I did have a cup of coffee this morning. I think that is helping a little bit. Now, I will say I have been running sporadically. You know, obviously I haven't been live streaming because I've just been running around home, but sporadically running here and there. And this is far more challenging just because I'm trying to talk while running. But you just can't beat these views, you know. I mean, getting to see the resort hotels, especially early in the morning, it's calming, I think, a little peaceful. See the mad rush of people sometimes to Hollywood studios. It's fun. Oh, there's all those ducks. They've been pushed out of the water by the watercraft. Oh, we've got a duck crossing here. Oh, I didn't like that. Whew. Beautiful morning out on the boardwalk. Can't wait to have you take our pics for our wedding next year in that area. Whew. It is a beautiful area. I mean, it's hard to beat for photos. It's gorgeous. Buildings are colored just right. And if you can get that nice orange look across the sky, or even like the cotton candy clouds, I mean, man, it's hard to beat. So what other questions we have? Anybody got any questions out there? Disney cruise related, theme parks related, travel related? We got back from Disneyland Paris, which was kind of a nightmare, but Disneyland Paris in and of itself was very, very cool. If you get the opportunity to go, I would say you only really need maybe one full day at Disneyland proper in Paris, and probably a half day at Walt Disney Studios is what it's called. Still a lot of fun. I think probably Thunder Mountain was up there for one of our favorite attractions. It goes out underneath the water, out onto an island, which is pretty cool. Tower of Terror is in Walt Disney Studios over there. Really focuses on like the little girl. Kind of gives you, I think Taylor was saying like, oh man, what is that? What's that movie by Stephen King? Oh my gosh, slipping my mind. But anyway, Tower of Terror is pretty good. The new Avengers Campus is cool. Danielle, great question. Have you done any running on the paths of the cruises? Don't they have a walking path, or is it strictly walking? So the pathway is really like, it's kind of like this combination of both running and walking. I always have a little bit of inspiration to try and do that kind of stuff while we're on vacation. But I'll tell you this, I don't normally do it for two reasons. Number one, because I'm on vacation. Three reasons. Number one, I'm on vacation, and running in circles to me is not a lot of fun. Number two, it's really hard to track like on your watch because the ship's moving. So as you're running your route, if you lose track of how many laps you've done, your watch is going to be really off because you're moving forward and running at the same time. So it throws it off. And number three, you really have to do it most times pretty early in the morning, because as people start to get up, that running / walking path is still utilized for regular guests to move about the ship. And it's, it can be very crowded sometimes. Not all guests are always paying attention. They're, looking at something. So, it's a challenge. I think the biggest challenge that we saw was on our Alaska cruise. And as we were moving through the inner passageway, you've got these giant mountains. You've got glaciers up in these mountains. It is picturesque by all means. It's beautiful. And on Ovation of the Seas, where that running path is also where, they've got chairs out and it's viewing. And it gets very crowded because people are out there, and they're trying to see everything. And we actually witnessed these two guys who were being very, 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 very rude to some of these people who were just trying to, watch what was happening. There were also some other people, older couples, who were just walking, because it's not just a running track. It is also a walking path. And there were these two guys who would just yell at people to get out of the way. They didn't want to slow down and stop running. They were very rude and mean. And at one point, this guy actually almost knocked over this older couple who were just, they're out just trying to exercise like they are. They're just walking, hard of hearing. And this guy's yelling at them, to move out of the way. And I don't think they really knew what was going on. He just plows right into him. So I try to avoid running on those upper decks for that reason. I think on the fantasy, though, their running deck is kind of like down below. I can't remember what deck it's on. 4 or 5 or something like that, maybe. And that's not as populated. But you still have to be careful of other people, so. Anytime that I've gone and worked out, normally it's just, I go to the gym and I'll get on the treadmill and I'll just run the treadmill and stare out into the ocean. So. Adventures by Deed love the dragon in their castle at Paris. Awesome, right? Just awesome. I really wish that they could all kind of do something similar to that and really make the castles exploratory. Obviously here in Disney World, it's not really possible with the utilidors underneath the castle and the restaurant up above, and at the very top of the castle they've got the suite. So that makes it a little challenging, but it was really, really cool to see that dragon in there, breathing the smoke and moving around. Really, really cool. Tyler, going on the Disney Wondersoon, anything that I shouldn't miss? So if you're going on the Wondersoon, I'm assuming that that's probably an Alaskan cruise, and correct me if I'm wrong. But I would say if you're going on Disney, potentially you enjoy seeing the characters. You definitely don't want to miss. Okay, so no, not Alaska. It's going to be San Diego, Mexico. Okay, still cool. I would still say if you like the characters, normally they're going to have some different outfits each day. Definitely grab those because they're very unique. You don't normally see them anywhere else on property. From Disneyland to Walt Disney World. Definitely the Broadway style shows if you've never done a Disney cruise before. I think that compared to doing other cruise lines and Broadway style shows and things, those Disney shows are just so relatable because the IP makes them really enjoyable to watch. And then I think if you're going as a couple, with or without kids, try to get one night to do one of the specialty restaurants, because it's just nice to kind of have that night for yourselves to unwind, enjoy some really, really good food. Don't worry that the portions are small because it's going to still fill you up in the end. But that would be my recommendations of things not to miss. They're always going to be showing like movies on the Funnel Vision and different things like that. But on top of that, when you get into some of those ports, I always like to try to find some port adventures that are like super unique, and that I'm not going to be able to do on just any other cruise. So those are my recommendations, but I'm always like, I try to live by the motto of do something new every day, try something different every day, because you just don't know what you might really enjoy. I got Taylor to go snorkeling again on this cruise, and she was super worried about it. She was full of anxiety, but at the end of the day, she was really proud of herself for doing it. So I think that that's really, really cool. And again, I think it's great for just like self-growth. You know what I mean? So, oh boy, I've been walking for a little while, so I'll pick this up and get in the jog. You guys can see there's a lot more people out here right now. Whew. Danielle, have a great day, everyone. People say Wish running path is 2 stories and steps are necessary. Interesting. I did not get out to even see the running deck, or that it was even on 2 different levels. So, you know, we only had 4 nights on the ship, and trying to accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish while on the ship was still a little challenging, you know, for us on the Wish. So I definitely would say that we probably did not see every inch of the ship like we wanted to, but, you know, I mean, that's just the way it is sometimes. It's like when you come to Disney World, even if you're here for 7 days, you can't really expect to do everything. It can be done, but, you know, it's challenging. So I will say this, anybody who enjoys sailing the Caribbean during the summer months, I think you might be a little crazy. You know, us living here in Florida, we know it's hot, but my goodness, Caribbean sailing in the summertime is just, it was unbearable actually on a few of those days. Castaway Cay in particular, the water was so warm that it was actually kind of not enjoyable. So Taylor and I were just kind of joking that, like, you know, this will be the last Caribbean cruise we probably ever do in the summertime, because it just was not all that enjoyable. I would take that cooler weather, you know, from November to probably April, over an unbearable heat, you know, when you're trying to relax. It's tough. So, wow, look at all these people coming out. Get to Hollywood Studios. A lot of people are probably going to head right to Rise of the Resistance, I would think. And that's what I would be doing if, you know, if I'm heading into the parks early. Oh, I skipped the pathway over there. I just now realized that. I'm so used to running this, I totally forgot about running over to the Swan and Dolphin again. What are we sitting at? 4.1. And running pretty slow today. 13.3. So my average is, my current mile pace is about 9:30. It's a little fast, but hey! Oh, nice! How are you guys? What's going on, guys? How are you? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Hi, I'm super sweaty. I don't. Have fun at Hollywood Studios. That was really cool. There's that couple back there. Colby and Michelle. We actually just did their wedding photos and video for them back in Missouri. That was back in May, so that was really cool. Nice to always see some familiar faces, just like that one up there. Alan, he was really cool. He was on our Alaska trip. We hung out in Disneyland and then flew back and was on the Wish. All right, now I'm gonna go back to running my proper route, which is back around this way. Battle speed run. You just passed us. Oh, cool. I didn't even notice you guys. Do you think Star Wars races will ever come back? I'm actually, you know, I'm gonna say probably not. You know, I don't think that it's very Disney-esque to kind of bring back a lot of stuff from the past that they've now buried. So the Star Wars runs, I don't think will be coming back at all. Maybe later on in the future, you know, they might bring them back for one season, like the springtime surprise stuff. But I would say more than likely, for the most part, not coming back. I'm not really sure why, because they seem to be pretty popular. Everybody really seemed to enjoy them. And I know for Taylor and I, that was our first half marathon that still went through all 4 parks. So we really enjoyed it. We thought it was awesome to get to experience that, especially for Taylor, outside of the marathon, because you know, I had thought at the time that the only way you could run through all 4 parks was via the marathon. So that initial half was really cool, but probably not going to come back. I'm not saying that they never will, but if they do, I'd be surprised, but I would be all for it. I think they were, like I said, I think they were awesome. Cake bake coming in 2023. This, I think, and I know I got a lot of strong opinions sometimes, I think that was a mistake. ESPN, a lot of times was hard to get into. So to really remove that space, really shocking. But hopefully Cake Bake will be a good shop. Or a good restaurant is what I should say, because I think it's going to be sit down. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a huge space in there, so. Oh boy, that heat and humidity, it is kicking in, everybody. Whew. All right. Oh, a shower would be fantastic. So I didn't bring a change of clothes. I did bring a towel, so I can get the seat all sweaty, but whew, boy, oh boy. Yvonne, good morning. Contessa, how busy is it at Run Disney Expo to pick up the bib, etc.? Should I get there early? So here's the thing. I'm about to get on my soapbox because this really, really bothers me, and it bothers a lot of other racers. So I know that I'm not alone in these thoughts. And if somebody out there does what I'm about to say, I don't feel bad for hurting your feelings or upsetting you. But here's the thing. It's, I think it's really, really up to you and what you want to do. Hold on, let me run past this guy real quick. So we're not picking up so much noise from that leaf blower. So I think it's really up to you and what you want to do, right? If you want merchandise before it's gone, you inevitably have to get there early. I don't know how early to get, to tell you to get there, because it really varies. Depends on how early they'll let you in. But, let's say if the doors open for you to get merchandise at 10 o'clock, there are normally people who are there at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning lining up to buy merchandise for Run Disney stuff. So inevitably, what also ends up happening is that those people buy large quantities of items and then they resell them on eBay. Super frustrating to me and all other runners, especially if you're somebody who can't be there the first day of the expo, right? If you're only running the marathon, it doesn't make sense for you to show up on Wednesday. Maybe you don't show up till Saturday to get your bib. Normally by Saturday, a lot of stuff is gone. A lot of sizes are gone. It's really, really unfortunate. So should you get there early if you want merchandise? Yes. If you're just going in to pick up your bib, don't really care about merchandise, go later in the day. It won't be as busy just because the morning rush was kind of moved through. So I've been, not that Disney listens to me or cares what I have to say, but I've been saying for a while now that, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday should be reserved only for runners to go in and buy merchandise. You have to have your bib and a photo ID to prove that. And you should still only be able to buy 2 things. And that's it. Not you, your husband, your son, your daughter, and your uncle and your aunt all buy 2 of the same thing so that you can go home and resell it. But you know what I mean? Because it's a huge problem. And I think that those first 3 days should be reserved for runners to be able to go in because they're the ones who are actually running and get the things that they want. Now, obviously, if you're not going to show up till Saturday, then you got to compete with everybody else. But, a little give and take, right? So that's my thing. It really, really makes me upset because it's really unfair in a lot of ways. And I don't think Disney really cares because they're selling the merchandise anyways. So, but that's my 2 cents. If you want merchandise, got to get there really, 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 really early. Get in line for merchandise first, and then go get your bib, because at the end of the day, your bib's not going to go anywhere. It's always going to be there. So, if you want your merch, do that first. Soapbox over, stepping down. Deep breaths. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. What a lovely morning. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Chatting it up, giving me a little bit of a distraction. We have got a mile left So we're gonna run out to Hollywood Studios, and I think somewhere on the way back here we should hit that mile. All right. Racer fan or Josh, you're 100% right. Should require a bib to buy. Yes. Totally what they should do. Very frustrating when people buy large quantities. They should really limit amount of purchase. Thanks so much for advice. Jason, always enjoyed your Run Disney videos. Other than you running for the Dragon Master Foundation, does the Run Disney event itself benefit any local nonprofits in any way? Jason, I'll come back to you in a second. Ed H, hasn't always been this way. My first few races, this wasn't an issue. Plenty of merch. No. It seems that like since maybe about 2018, there's been this movement because a lot of people know that they can make money by reselling on eBay or on Etsy or wherever they're reselling at. There's all these people who can make this thing, and it's become this phenomenon that, you know, in a lot of ways, it seems like they, you know, even, oh my gosh, what's the store over in the outlets where they sell like all the merch at like, you know, 80% off? You know, those types of things where people would just go in, they would buy 10 of every item and then resell it, you know, at 100% markup or whatever plus shipping. That and the advent of that has really created this movement of people to like, I know I can go to a Run Disney Expo. I can buy the most commonly sought sizes, which is normally medium and large. Actually, medium, large, and extra large. I can buy those up, throw them on eBay, and resell them at like, you know, sometimes 30, 40, 50% markup, and people will buy it. It's become a real issue. It's become an issue here in the parks as well, you know, so it's really unfortunate that, you know, I think they always try to do like limit 2 per person. And what ends up happening, we see this all the time, is families come in, you know, some mom and husband who run their business and they've got 3 kids and they fill up their baskets and then they give their kids each a basket and they fill that basket up and they pay for it. And they just do them all as individual purchases. And that's really like a problem. They know it's happening, but I don't think they do anything because, again, they're making sales. So, yeah, it should be fixed. All right, Jason. So, besides Dragon Master Foundation, which is who I specifically run for, there are a ton of charities out there that you can run for. Disney specifically, the company, I believe, does, I want to say like March of Dimes and Make-A-Wish Foundation, or a combination of those two, or one or the other. You know, they usually make a donation to that. Whoever the sponsorship is makes a donation to that. On your left. So like, you know, like let's say Advent Health here in Florida. You know, if they're the sponsor for Marathon Weekend, they'll usually make a donation of some sort. And of course, like all the sales that Disney makes, that goes to March of Dimes or Make-A-Wish or something like that. So, a lot of that does get donated to somebody else. And then there's obviously the opportunity for you to donate specifically to something of your choosing. Sorry. A little warm breath. So it's, you know, it's a great thing. If you don't know, most of the people who are working the races are volunteers who, you know, they get up at midnight, 1 o'clock. They show up, handing out water, handing out drinks, handing out snacks, things like that along the race routes. Some of them just cheer people on. So it is a really big community of volunteers, which is really cool. Whew. Yeah. All right. So, Ed, yeah, I was going to say it seemed to get bad in the last 4 to 5 years. Remember 2013, 2014, they had the tech shirts for sale, half off, just because they had so many leftovers. Courtney, 100% agree, especially when you need to fly in for races. Yeah, you know, and Taylor and I think, have done like maybe one video, maybe two, maybe three. Somebody can correct me in the comments. From Character Warehouse, right? But not normally in a sense like that we go over there and we're like really showing everybody everything that you can get. It's really just kind of like more of our point of view and experience. Like, oh, wow, this is really cool. You know, if you want something and you can make it over here, this is a good place if you don't have a huge budget to spend on full price merchandise. However, you know, sizes are limited, quantity is limited, right? When they run out of something, it's not like they're gonna go get more from the back. When it's gone, it's gone. That's the point. And it certainly has not helped that the advent of other YouTubers have made that a staple of their work, going to Character Warehouse and filming that stuff. And a lot of them are also resellers themselves. They don't tell you guys that, but you know, we're in the community and we talk to all these people and we know that that's what they do. And it's really unfortunate because I don't think it's right, but that's what they do. So, great business, you know, great business idea, I suppose, marketing yourself through your YouTube channel and selling all those things. But, yeah, so all of that has made it a real big issue because people know that they can resell a lot of that stuff and for a huge profit too, mind you. You know, think about it, even in the parks, a lot of these resellers, most of our APs, some of them are YouTubers. I'm not gonna mention any names, but you know, they go in and they use their discount. So not only are they putting it back on eBay for more than what they bought it for, it's always going to be almost 40% more than what they paid for it, plus shipping, you know, because normally you're getting a 20% discount on merchandise for a lot of things. And when you go and resell that at 100%, or you sell it at what it's actually costing, you know, you're already making 20%, plus a lot of them do a 20% markup for their trouble. So it's pretty crazy. It's a great business model. A lot of them are doing very, very well, but you know, I don't condone it. It's really crazy. And it's really unfortunate because people who really want to buy some good stuff, they can't. So, all right, y'all, we are coming. If you're wondering where we're at, Hollywood Studios, we've got the Skyliner to our right here, or kind of straight ahead. Bus stops for the hotels on our left. And we're almost finished with our first 10K run for the summer. Many, many more to come. Whew. Diana, morning Josh. Getting ready for my morning run. Awesome. I'm signed up for Food and Wine half. It's inspired by your running videos, especially the live race ones. Thank you. You are awesome. Diana, good luck. It really means a lot to me that these videos have been an inspiration to you, because in many ways, these are inspiration for me to get up, do a morning run, especially when I'm not feeling like it. There are certainly still days when I don't do it, but, you know, really, I'm doing dopey this year. And every year, my goal is to try and not be worse than the year before. And this year, I really want to try and push those boundaries. My friend Crystal from For Love of the Mouse on Instagram and YouTube Her and Bryson, super great people. She's got a great Etsy shop. Go check it out. But she is a phenomenal runner. And last year during the marathon, I caught up to her. Now, she started out ahead of me, but the catch is for her is that she was stopping to meet every character that she saw along the way. And then she was like sprinting in between those characters to make up time. And I think she felt like a little, we were talking and she felt like a little kind of, I think, down that I caught up to her. And then in that last stretch going in through, going through World Showcase, I really I sprinted away, mostly because my phone was going to die. But I think it's a real testament to like her athletic ability, because I know that I certainly could not have done what she did, which was stop and meet the characters and then really start running to try and make up that lost time of waiting in those queue lines. So, for me this year, that's my goal, is to be in such good shape that I can kind of stay with her, even though she's probably going to be ahead of me anyways in the corrals. But, she was an inspiration for me. So, and all of you being here in these mornings, kind of keeping me distracted, asking questions, all of that great stuff, helps me out a lot too. So, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it every time I do these runs, that I appreciate all of you who are here, because it's like having a little Run Disney cheering squad with me all the time. And I really, really, truly appreciate that. So it's really awesome. Oh, and we've done it. We've hit our 10K mark. 6.1. It's taken me 77 minutes, which is quite a long time to run a 10K. Averaging, it looks like maybe like 12:40 or something like that. So pretty slow for me personally. But listen, don't compare yourself to me. Don't compare yourself to others. When you're out there and you're starting your fitness journey, whatever you're doing, there's a lot of work that's involved. So it takes a while sometimes to really, hit those goals. But start with smaller goals, because those smaller goals will lead to your larger goal, which I know sounds like common sense, but truly, don't worry about your time. If you're just starting out, make your goal to just go 6.1 miles. Don't worry if it takes you 3 hours. Don't worry if it takes you 2 hours. Just do it. Don't worry if you're walking the whole time. Go out and do it, because the more distance that you complete, the further that you go, it's going to make you stronger. You're going to build up more energy for those longer runs, and hit something that doesn't happen overnight. Whew. Awesome. Do a little cold down here. I'll tell you what, when you stop running, you really feel that humidity, because while you're running, you kind of make your own wind. There's a breeze coming over you, and it helps to wick away a lot of the sweat. And there is zero wind moving right now. So yeah, it's hot. It's very, very hot. Melissa, awesome morning run. Thanks for taking us along. Where do you park when you go running at the Boardwalk? I always wonder. When we went to go run on property, we signed up for our 4th Dopey. That's awesome. So I answered this question earlier. I think you really have like 3 options. Number 1, you can pay to park at Swan and Dolphin. Number 2, get a breakfast reservation if you're going to run in the morning, and just try to get it to like, a time where you can show up, run, and then go eat breakfast. Or 3. If you know somebody who's staying on property, a friend of yours or something like that, ask them and see if it's okay if you say, hey, I'm here to visit my friend. And usually you can come in and park. So my friend Alan is here right now. And I asked him if that was okay. And he said, sure. So I told him I was visiting Alan, which, I did a run, but I'm going to go see Alan here in a few minutes. And so those are your options. What time is it over there? It is currently 8:19. 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Lisa. Oh, thanks. I gotcha. Now I see what you said there. Good job there, Alan. Way to catch me on that one. Resort budgeting morning, Josh. I have been walking daily with the wife to get back into shape. Haven't started running yet. Baby steps. Absolutely. I think you're only setting yourself up for failure if you haven't really done a lot of physical activity, and you're like, I'm going to come out, and even a 5K. If you think I'm going to come out and run 3.1 miles and not stop, I think you're setting yourself up for failure. Set yourself as a goal that you're just going to go 3.1 miles, and don't worry about if you run most of it or walk most of it. Just get out and go the distance. That's really going to be your best bet. And for anybody out there who's like looking for the training stuff, I always recommend just doing the GETAWAY stuff that you can find on Run Disney's website. Pretty good stuff for beginners, I think, in my opinion. So, oh boy. Good times. It was nice getting back out and, doing a morning run. Sam, cool to see you running again. I need to get back at it now that my knee is feeling better. Oh man, played golf yesterday for 4 hours and walked the whole thing. That's really great. I think actually if you're really looking to get back into shape and you play golf, walk and don't ride a cart, that'll get you back in to a good physical activity. That'll get you right back into it really, really quickly. So I think a lot of people were asking, well, not a lot of people, but I did see somebody that asked about, I answered it earlier about vlogs from the cruises, things like that. All of that is coming out. Most of it's going to be coming out over the next week and into next week. I think it's going to be Mickey's Not So Scary tonight. Probably post another video from Seattle tomorrow, before we start moving into everything that has to do with the Alaskan cruise that we were just on. And after that, it'll be, Taylor and I this week, we're going to be going to Food and Wine. First time at Food and Wine this year. We have not been to Food and Wine at all, which is really, really crazy to think about. So we're super excited for that. We'll be there this week. And I said this earlier, Friday is the start of Halloween Horror Nights, which is also going to be a blast and a lot of fun. And we'll have plenty of stuff coming out from that, because I'm going to be going there almost every day if I can. Oh, there's a private jet. I wonder if that's old Bob Chapek coming in. Flying super low over the resort. Courtney, thank you, Josh. So great to have the live show back. Yeah, so, obviously my goal is going to be to try and keep them coming back every Saturday if possible. We'll see how likely that is to happen, especially actually next Saturday, because I'm going to be out all night with Halloween Horror Nights. But, should be, I think it should be doable. So if not Saturday, it'll be on Sunday. And again, I really, really appreciate everybody being here and hanging out. And we will see you all in the next one. Oh, that would be the end of the video if this was an edited